Hey guys, I have another little coffee pin craft for us, little latte cup. They call them latte cups, but I don't know. I just see them as coffee cups, but I don't know. I didn't name them. I just know that they're adorable and I love making these little frames. So I have a little pin craft for us. So hopefully you guys will like it. It's a Bambi one. So many people don't know what this one is. It's Bambi. And these little like squares are supposed to be the markings on Bambi's back. I hope you guys like this craft. Remember, you can always purchase my crafts through direct messaging or whatnot. You can also buy a lot of supplies that I have on fabulousstamper.com. So please check that out. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, all the things. I appreciate you guys just being here and watching my stuff because I just like making it for you guys. So I'm happy to just do this. So anyway, well, I hope you guys have an excellent day and thanks so much for being here. Bye. I happen to have two pins here. I have the real one and I have the fake one. The left one is obviously the real one. Well, you might not know it's the real one, but it is. The key differences that I see just like right off the bat, this is so much wider. It's just really, really wide compared to that one. And if you see other coffee cups on the board, you might be able to see that. This one is unusually wide. It's about 1/8 of an inch wider. It's almost 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, because that's more than a 16th. The 16th is a little, it's a lot less, but it's almost 1/8 of an inch. It's a lot wider. And so it's really wide. The colors are off, as well as, turn the light up. There's a graininess, a little bit of graininess in the lines, but the lines are also just a little thicker. This one isn't as thick as I've seen on others, but the lines have a little bit of graininess in it, but it's not as easy to tell. But it's also not shiny. Like, you see how there's like a clean, flat shine on this Bambi one on the left? And on the right, it's like a dull shine. But, you know, when they shine them in the light, you know, when you see people in the video shining them in the light, that's what they're meaning. They're meaning it should be a smooth, clean shine all the way across. Whereas this has like a dullness to it. You know, it just is, it's dulled. It has a shine, but it's not shiny across where you really can see. I see a little bit of streaking, but it's really that it's dull. It's not shiny and clean like this one is. So real versus fake right there, you guys. So I normally don't have one to show you as a real versus fake, but here we go. Here's my real versus fake for you. So perfect little example for you. And hopefully you guys will like the pin craft using my real one. So we're going to be using this paper here, which is called A Thoughtful Journey. It is gorgeous. It's the prettiest paper. I love this watercolor look that Stampin' Up! Has done in the last couple years. They've done a few different variations of this kind of paper. It's this watercolor, gorgeous. I mean, it just comes out so stunning. And I know I talk a lot about Stampin' Up! You can always buy supplies at fabulousstamper.com. But of course, if you find a paper that you like that's different, that's okay too. Go and use it. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't. You know, I just like Stampin' Up's products because of the quality. I'm never going to tell you to buy something if I don't think the quality of it's good. And so I'll always tell you that. So, but how pretty is this paper? I mean, it's just stunning. I was thinking this one would be good for Bambi too, but it would need to be like a winter scene, or maybe I can use this for an Elsa, Anna type scene. Just so gorgeous. And so I'm just trying to put them back in order. Such pretty paper. Just so pretty. Yeah, it's a stunner. And I think I have another piece of that over here. I got them all mixed up at some point. This is the piece that we're going to be using for Bambi. And that piece we're going to be using for a card. And then this one with the little thistles. So pretty. Just turned out great. I mean, just really gorgeous paper. And anyway, just really gorgeous paper. Let me show you the back side real quick. And the back sides have a muted watercolor. So it doesn't have any exact print like the others, which is you know, the forest or swamp or trees. It just has a watercolor swash looking type background, which is also really stunning. Oh, this one's pretty. It looks like the ocean. Yeah, just really, really gorgeous. Gorgeous paper. Love it. Can't get enough of it. You might see me make some more things with this particular paper. Just have to get to working on it. I cut our piece into 4x4, and I cut a piece of just basic white. Any scrap will do. It just needs to be a basic scrap of 4x4, and we're gonna glue these on top of each other. This just gives a little stability to this thin paper when we put it in our frame. You can always buy this paper or any of the things I'm showing you at FabulousStamper.com, as well as the frames I'm going to show you. So just check that out. Glue that down, make it all pretty. And then to get our Bambi, what we're going to do, we've got two different things we need to stamp. We're going to use our coffee stamp, which you guys have seen before. It's from the Press On. It's a retired stamp set, but I've been using it for this entire series that I've been doing. I just find it to be really fun and simple. So this little piece is 1 3/4 by 3/4 inch, and I went ahead and cut it ahead of time. It's a little hard to stamp this tiny label, but the key thing with this one is I had to actually trim. We don't make the rubber stamps anymore from Stampin' Up. I know some people are sad about that because they really like the quality of the rubber as opposed to the clear stamps, but you know, it's so cost efficient to be using the clear stamps instead of the rubber stamps. So that's why Stampin' Up switched over to it. So what I did was I cut around, tried to get a complete straight line on the top. I tried to get a straight line here at the bottom. It was just a little bit harder to get this bottom as straight, and it's just to try and guide my eye to get my stamp as sharp as possible so that I can fit it in my little label wherever I am. Whatever label I'm using, I can try and fit it in. And so I'm just using, these are Tim Holtz scissors, and they are serrated. And so we don't sell serrated scissors. And these are really good for like utilitarian type things. So you can get them at my, at FabulousStamper.com. So let's go ahead and let's use this block here. We're going to use Old Olive. I'm using Old Olive because I wanted to pick up a little bit of the green on this paper. And there's so much brown from the Bambi and the deer that we're going to do. I didn't want to have too much. And as much as I want to match this green, I just kind of went with my gut and just trusted that this paper had so much to match Bambi. So we went with that. So let's go ahead and put our, stamp our label. And we just want to try and line up. So because I trimmed off the excess of that wording, I can hopefully get this as straight as I can and line it up in the center. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let me do one more. It's not totally in the center. And I don't want to try and cut it because it's going to be really hard to trim it. And so let's get it a little further to the left and still get it straight down. Ah, that's perfect. This one was just a little off center. So again, this is 1 3/4 by 3/4 inch, this tiny label, and it's the perfect size for our coffee stamp. And that's all we're doing with the Old Olive. We don't need that anymore. And some people were wondering how I clean my stamps. I clean them with a chamois. And the chamois will get stained with ink because it's these are water-based stamps, water-based ink. So you just need a little chamois that has water on it, and it just cleans it off. That's it. And so it will stain it, but eventually you just get a new one. You can wash it. I've seen other people wash it, but you'll see many people that use these, they get pretty stained up pretty quick. And so it's just the nature of the, it's the nature of that particular chamois. You know, it's just going to stain it. It's not going to keep it perfectly clean. Perfect little label. And then we're going to take our Bambi. I don't know why I moved that. It's so weird. Anyway, So I've got a big piece of paper because when you're doing this little Bambi, oh, I need to show you the stamp set. This little stamp set is from Stampin' Up. It's from January, I believe. It's called Notes of Spring. If you purchased a certain amount in the month, it allows you to buy this for $5. So I got this whole stamp set for $5, which was pretty sweet. That's a pretty good score. And it's exactly what I need for Bambi. So I was so happy when I saw it, and I can't buy very many products every month. So I had to kind of save up a little to get to my $75 mark. And I'm going to stamp it a couple times. I'm going to stamp the filler a couple times because I want to make sure that one of them works. So we'll just stamp it a couple times in preparation. Oh, see, that one got a little spotty. These ones look good, but that one got a little spotty. It's not bad. I could still use it. And this is pecan pie ink. I didn't explain. So this is the filler, this is the outline. And you stamp the filler first, and then you stamp the outline on top, which is what we're doing now. I did it for the bunny as well, but I'm not using the bunny. But the bunny actually looks really cute as well. So, all right, so now we're gonna take Early Espresso ink, which is one of my favorite inks. I love this ink. It is so interesting how this is almost black, this brown. This brown is almost a black color. Oh, I got a mess of ink on the edge here. Sorry, guys. I just didn't want to stick my thumb in it and get it all over our project. So we're changing up even our ink pads. These are the old ink pads. We're actually switching to a new style. So eventually you'll see the new style of ink pads we have. Let me move this over. So in order to get my outline, it's best to try, it's harder to get the solid inside the outline than to get the outline on top of the solid. So all you do is I usually go from the bottom up and just kind of angle it. Now it's not supposed to be a perfect outline because you're supposed to get the little white tail on the edge. The hardest thing I found was getting the little legs in. Yeah, see, I'm a little bit out of line on the legs here. But you see, you want that little whiteness on the tail and even a little bit of whiteness on the face. It just, it's just trying to get it just right. And so I got a little too much ink on there. Let's see if this one worked. There we go. You see how now it's in. There's a tiny bit out of line, but as a whole, it just looks so good. And we'll go ahead and do this one here, and you'll see why. Even though I have that little blotchy area, we're gonna do one here too, because we want, I have a feeling that this dark part is going to cover up the little blotchy part, and it did. Look, two perfect ones. And this one's not bad. It's just not as clean, It's not terrible. I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, it's the worst, throw it out. No, I might actually use that on something. I just would try and cover up the part out of line, out of the lines. And so this was Early Espresso ink. So we're all done with that. And again, we're gonna clean off our stamps with our chamois. And now some people don't use the chamois. Some people just take their blocks and they go over to the sink and they wash them, which you should do anyway, is you just wash them over time, because they do get a little, sometimes they lose some of their stickiness and, different things, oh, see, and that one had so much extra ink on it. This one might need to get washed. Only thing I recommend is if you take it to the sink is you need to put it in a bowl, because you don't want these going, and some of our stamps are really small, so they could go down the drain. So you need to put them in a bowl. You need to make sure the plug, there's a plug in the bottom of your sink so that that's all stoppered up, because you don't want your stamps to actually accidentally slide down the drain, which I've heard people have that happen to them. So you just want to be careful. So that's our basic deer. Then we're going to cut out our deer. I'm going to save this one for later because I might use it for something else. because it's not that bad, actually. I probably will use it for something else. So I'll set that aside. Ow. And we're going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm definitely going to use one of these for a card. And you always turn the paper, not the image. Or turn the paper, not the scissors. And just try and get a little outline. If you don't feel comfortable cutting like this, you could also use a circle punch or something to cut it out, you know, as if you stamped it on a large circle. That's also a possibility. You don't have to cut things out by hand. I like cutting them out by hand. I mean, it's not my favorite thing to cut them out by hand, but I like how it looks when you have it completely cut out. That's just my preference of look on this image. On other images, I don't like it. So there we go. So that is our little Bambi. We'll trim up a little here. And yeah, everything looks really good. So I think we're done with that. And this is, again, a 4x4 frame. I got it from fabulousstamper.com on Amazon. It's on my Amazon storefront. And you can pick it up. It's not expensive, which is why I got it, but it's solid wood, which is a little bit better than some of those plastic ones. The key thing you have to figure out when you're doing this is you have to figure out that you want to put this, you have to put it inside the frame first. So let's get our little piece of cardboard. I have a little piece here, I think. Yep, here's a piece. So we'll go ahead and cut out a piece of cardboard. It doesn't have to be the full 4x4. I just find that when it's larger, it tends to give a cleaner look. So we're gonna go ahead and put this inside the frame. Yeah, I think this is too thick. And we're gonna go ahead and just get the layout all set up. And close our frame before we glue anything down, because it'll shift, but we wanna make sure that we've got it all set up so that when we're laying out our pieces, it turns out okay. And so I think I'm going to place this one last, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So let's get our Bambi on with some dimensionals. You can use the baby dimensionals that we sell, or I actually am just cutting up the edges of this particular sheet. I use every single piece of my dimensional sheet. It just, you know, just not to waste, because this is a lot of extra glue around the edge there. It's quite a bit. And we're just putting our pieces on. There we go. And we're gonna pop him, Bambi, in the corner. And then we'll get our coffee cup started as well. I only put one layer of dimensionals for Bambi down here. I should have actually put the coffee cup down first, but I got excited. So I'm gonna put 2 dimensionals on the back of this coffee cup because I need it to be popped up a little bit. It just looks better to have a second layer, is what I found when I did the first one. Otherwise, everything is at the same layer, and that just doesn't look good visually. So because this one's a little higher layer, and then I have these ones at the lower layer, it just adds a dimension to it, a little dimension. And let's make sure this will fit in the corner over there. It should. I think I was just a little worried about it not fitting. You can pop this down in the corner. Now we can't push our Bambi all the way down, our Bambi pin, because it will, you want to make sure it's firmly attached, but you don't want to break the end of your pin. So let's go ahead and set that aside. Now that I know the layout's going to be okay, I'm going to put it in the corner. I think we're all okay. Yeah, that looks straight. My worry is when I take it out and put it back in, but then we'll go ahead and we'll pop this down. Just get it centered. Let's see, is that centered? No, it's a little to the left. Yeah, it needed to be to the left is what I meant to say. And we're gonna go ahead and take this out of the frame because we need to put a board underneath in order to push through our pin. I don't wanna smash it right into this because I don't wanna bend the end of my pin. And so we'll go ahead and get our board, just any board. And I wanna use this left-hand hole because that was more centered. And I think that's straight. We'll put it back in the frame and see if it's totally straight. But you see, we have to make sure we get it. I have to check and see if that's straight. But I wanted to make sure it went into something soft and not straight in to the hard, because a little bit of it is gonna poke out in the back here. We just need a small piece of cardboard to kind of press down that, to cover up that last tiny bit. You can put 2 full layers, but it's going to be really hard to close your frame if you do that. So it's better to just kind of try and, not makeshift, but you want to try and just maximize what you have, I guess, you know. So I'm just using a tiny bit of cardboard. Oh yeah, that's good. That's perfectly centered. This is fine if you wanted to stop right here, but we also sell, these are new. These just came out. Stampin' Up, that is. Fabulous Stamper. We also sell these amazing little butterflies. I've been using them like crazy. They're so cute. They're called In Color Butterflies, and these are our new In Colors. I don't know the names of our new In Colors, but it's this pretty blue and this pretty green, this light pink. Also, now the clear is not a new color, I don't think. We usually just have 5 colors. So the clear I think is just an option, but baby pink, this kind of coral, this buttery gold, and then green and the blue. Oh, so pretty. I don't know the names yet. I will eventually. So I am using the yellow because I thought that this yellow went best with our card. And I'm going to put a few of these because I don't use this yellow too often. So let's put a couple of these on here. One, two, three. I think we'll do 5. Right. Oops. Flipped over on me. Come on. Okay. And we'll do one more over here. There we go. So cute. Just love how darling these turned out. Isn't it pretty? It's just such a cute craft. I just think it turned out so good. Simple. Gets your Bambi shown off. And of course the little deer. I had a little bunny rabbit I was telling you guys about. I was trying to use the bunny with it. But because he's looking the wrong direction, if he was looking, I think, at the deer, it might seem a little better. But I don't know. I didn't really want the deer in the corner over here because it fit so perfectly with the coffee cup. And the bunny just felt, I don't know, it just felt like it was trying too hard and covering up some of the gorgeous paper that I think really makes the frame. So I didn't wind up using the bunny. But so cute, right? Such a cute little craft. So that's our Bambi pin craft. I hope you guys liked it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, all the things. And you have an excellent day. Thanks so much, guys.